Gigi Lamayne has reportedly also exited the ubungoma. I don't know if to call it a cult or what is it. This whole thing of dead people depicting people's direction in life. So long a God that does that. And so she also has quit this whole 9 jazz that was pushed upon her by the spirits and so forth. There was a point where people were using her move into this whole thing, particularly speaking about her calling, when she was speaking about her calling at one point. And so she also has exited, as I mentioned. And how do we know she has mentioned? I almost missed this, to be honest with you, is that she recently got baptized. So she became born again, and a couple of weeks ago, she got baptized at a church, and you can actually see the video that goes along with that during her baptism and so forth. And so she shared that video on her Instagram. You can go and check it out over there. And if you actually see, there was actually a picture that I did find where she is part of this group here, and there she is right in front. They were being baptized. And she captioned this whole thing on her Instagram, saying this. She says, to God be the glory, He's faithful, and He is a God of second chances. He is a God of second chances. He never gives up until we are in. Thank you to my spiritual leaders, amazing family, friends, partner, and strangers who helped me to this point. I am glad to be part of such an amazing kingdom. There's a separation here. It's a different kingdom. There's another one. It's another kingdom on that other side. Okay? He says it's a place to be part of this kingdom, to serve and to be forgiving oneself and starting all over. There was another in the fire standing next to me. she's using the quotation of the experience of the Hebrew boys thrown into the fire, and they came out unscathed. Now, I said before, no matter how loud the devil shouts, we want him to know. God's voice, God wins at the end. And your master knows he loses. There is also a negative effect. When they convert, there's someone who probably started paying attention to theirs because of them. And so as a result, whom probably was a follower or something like that. And so when they say, oh yeah, no, that's not the right kingdom to be part of. When they do that, what happens is that people tend to steep themselves into deeper ritual practices, cleansings, all these things, in order to affirm, to qualify it, basically, to say, this is real. I pray that you are not one of those. I pray that you are not one of those that feel you need to validate this thing. You need to validate that this is the spirit of my ancestors. And we have said it's not. It is not the spirit of your ancestors. And what it is a familiar spirit. It is a spirit that studied everything about you and seeks only to draw you towards its direction. It's not the spirit of your ancestors. It's something else. not the spirit of your ancestors. It's something else. And I thought this is a reminder of that. It's a reminder of that. Gigi was on the search. You'll remember there was a time when she was at ZCC and she was like, it's not that bad. It's not that bad over here, But sitting down to count everything, and then she looked at it and said, but where is he? Where is the sacrifice that the Bible speaks about that I'm not seeing here? Now, y'all talk about it, but you have everything else that's a center. Here you are there busy doing the what, and she comes from ubungoma, so she knows, man, these things are back there. There's all these ritual coffees and water of this one, water of this one. So the language is the same. It's like, but in the Bible it sounds different. There was a time she interviewed Jay Israel and they had a conversation about his spiritual experiences and so forth. And now she then took that and then went on her route of her own search. And now, born again, saved, washed by the blood, now baptized. No matter how loud the voice of the enemy, being the devil, screams and shouts, there is a louder voice. Not long ago, we were talking about Gogos Koteni. Before that, we were talking about Auspalesa. Before that, we were talking about Sam. Tabiso. I say Sam. Before that, we were talking about Brenda coming out. And so these are loud voices. These are very well. Then we spoke about people that were indulging in all these rituals. Muzi gave an example of that. And so when you have people who are that influential doing it, there is someone who's looking. This is why I'm saying what tends to happen when things like this happen is that we mustn't forget, people then try to validate it. They try to validate it, and how do they do that? They go steep into deep ritual practices to validate. They want to make sure this is the real thing. I'm really interacting with the spirit of my ancestors. And I pray that whatever you choose to do to try and validate that thing, may the one in the fire show up. That's my prayer for you. That tends to be the case. That's why people were so angry when Gogos Koteni said she's out of there. That's why people were so angry, because they have to validate it now. They have to say, no, this is there. And so whether it be the aggression that they were showing or what, is that they have to validate it. Like, no, it can't be. Now, that's her journey. That's Gigi Lamayne's journey. But because someone has denounced it and you felt like I'm at a safe zone, now someone wants to validate it, because it's like, no, but this can't be. You can't tell me that this is a lie. You can't tell me this is a lie. And so they go on that journey to try and validate the stuff. Like I said, I hope that when you try to do that, and you'll remember, even the gentleman, unfortunately for him, because he didn't stick to the boundaries of Scripture, the guy who was in Satanism. When all of that havoc was happening, he then tried to get into steep rituals. And the rituals brought him to something that he didn't know what he was approaching. And he had some type of an encounter. The enemy took advantage of that. And you can hear the description that, this is not Jesus. By the description, it was, It got him out. That's what they said. But the version that he met, it's very mystic, not Christian. So this is the thing. When people like Gigi come out, when people who are influential, there's someone who might have been convinced to go and follow their calling, or so-called calling, into ubungoma, because they're like, you know what, these are the people that I follow. You can see, man, yeah, no, this thing is there. You know, this thing is there. And so when they see Apo Gigi, or when they see all the celebrities affirming that, what happens is they have to validate it. They want to go back and really establish, am I talking to the voice of my grandmother? Is it the voice of my... They want to give it credit. So that's why I'm saying, I hope when they do so, what they meet is the third one in the fire. Glory be to God. It's the Scriptural show with daily Christian commentary videos. Other episodes done today, down in the pinned comments. I'm going to check you out over there.